All right, so we've got some pretty big news coming out of India.
Yeah?
Travis Scott is bringing his Circus Maximus World Tour to Delhi on October 18th, 2025 at Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium.
Huge.
And it's not just the concert itself.
Right.
It's like a moment to really dig into Travis Scott and how he became this like leading voice in hip hop and just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It really makes you think, what does it actually take to like not just make it in the rap industry, but like totally dominate?
So sure. And I think for anyone listening, whether you've been into hip hop forever or you're, maybe an aspiring artist yourself trying to figure out the whole scene, or even if you're just kind of curious about how these global music trends, how they happen.
Yeah.
This deep dive is for you.
Yeah.
We're going way beyond just the concert date. We're going to explore like the whole journey of this global icon and the whole scene he's stepping into in India.
It's really fascinating. So let's rewind a little bit.
Okay.
Back to the beginning.
Yeah.
Travis Scott, born Jacques Bermond Webster.
The second
in Houston, Texas. Yeah. So it wasn't like he just popped up overnight.
Right? No, not at all. It was definitely a buildup.
Like, how did it start?
Well, those early mixtapes?
Oh.
Owl Pharaoh and Days Before Rodeo?
Yeah.
Those were like foundational.
Okay.
He was experimenting, finding a sound, and starting to build that,
that fan base.
a dedicated fan base. Like you said, think of them almost like
early sketches.
Yeah, exactly.
Of what he was going to become.
Yeah, his artistic vision.
And then Rodeo came out.
Rodeo.
There felt like a real statement.
Oh, yeah.
Like it all came together.
It really clicked.
What do you think was it about that project?
I think it's really interesting because Rodeo blended this kind of cinematic,
Almost atmospheric.
Yeah, these atmospheric production elements.
Yeah.
With his delivery, which was just getting more and more confident, and the collaborations brought in all these different energies.
It wasn't just a bunch of songs, right?
No, it felt like a full experience.
Yeah.
A curated experience, and that ambition really connected with people.
For sure.
It showed real artistic growth.
And then it just kept building from there, right?
Oh, yeah.
Birds in the Trap, Sing McKnight.
Yep.
And then Astroworld.
Astroworld was massive.
Huge.
A cultural event.
Each album just seemed to take him higher and higher.
Yeah.
What do you think drove that?
If you look at the whole rap landscape at the time, you see this artist who's not afraid to try new things with sound.
Push the boundaries.
Exactly, to push the boundaries of what a hip-hop album could even be.
It was like each one was different.
Yeah, it wasn't just more of the same.
It was an evolution.
It was an evolution, exactly, offering something new but still keeping that...
That core Travis Scott sound?
It's a core Travis Scott energy, exactly.
Yeah, and Astroworld especially felt like it tapped into something in the culture.
Oh, totally, with its themes and that whole immersive experience it created.
For sure. And then most recently we've got Utopia.
Utopia.
Which has just continued that success, right?
Yeah. Yeah, topping the charts and keeping him right up there with the biggest artists in the world.
It shows a lot of staying power.
Absolutely, because in a genre that's always changing, to stay relevant and impactful for that long takes more than just musical talent. You've got to really understand the cultural moment.
Yeah.
And Utopia shows that he's able to adapt and keep connecting with a huge audience.
And I mean, if you've seen even just clips of a Travis Scott concert, it's something else.
Oh, yeah.
People always talk about the visuals.
The visuals are next level.
They're crazy. I've seen some of the stage designs, and they're just wild.
Totally.
And then there's the mosh pits.
The mosh pits.
And just the energy.
Oh, yeah. For anyone who doesn't know, a mosh pit is basically like this high-energy area right in front of the stage where people are just going crazy, dancing, moving around. Sometimes it gets pretty intense.
It'll be intense.
And the whole atmosphere is just off the charts.
What do you think makes his live shows so special?
I think for an artist like Travis Scott, the live show is almost like an extension of the music itself. The visuals, the stage production, it's all part of building this world for the audience.
Right.
And that energy, the mosh pits, it creates this feeling of a shared experience, like a release for the fans.
Yeah.
It's not just listening to music, it's a whole event.
So for the fans in India getting ready for this show, what songs do you think are going to really get them going?
Oh, he's got to play the hits.
The bangers.
The bangers, exactly.
Yeah.
You can pretty much guarantee sicko mode.
Oh, yeah.
That crazy energy shift and goosebumps.
Yeah.
That melody is so catchy.
Oh, yeah.
Highest in the room for sure. And I'm betting on Farine from the new album.
They're going to get the crowd going.
Those are the ones that'll create those signature Travis Scott moments.
For sure. So we've talked about Travis Scott's journey to this huge moment in India.
Yeah.
But let's take a step back and think about what it really means to be a rapper at his level.
Because it's easy to look at the sold-out stadiums and think, oh, it's all champagne and parties.
Yeah.
You know?
Right, like it's the high life.
Exactly. But there's a lot more to it. Right.
Oh, yeah, way more. That perception of the high life definitely exists. But you have to remember that to get to that level takes an incredible amount of work and dedication.
Absolutely.
It's a really competitive field. And to be successful for the long haul takes more than just talent.
It's years of grinding.
Years of grinding,
Yeah.
exactly, honing your skills, writing, producing, always trying to improve your sound.
And then there's the whole networking side of it.
Yeah, building those connections in the industry.
It's constant work.
It is, and the whole rap industry has changed so much.
It's not just about the music anymore.
No, being a successful rapper today means building a brand,
Yeah.
understanding the business side of things,
Yeah.
and connecting with your audience in ways that go beyond just the music.
And Travis Scott is like the perfect example of that.
He really is.
He's not just releasing hits, he's a businessman.
A businessman for sure. Look at his Nike collaboration.
Yeah, those sneakers are instant collector's item.
Like crazy. And the McDonald's partnerships.
That was huge.
That was like mainstream crossover.
Total mainstream crossover.
So what's really interesting about Travis Scott is that he's combined his music with these really smart business moves.
Yeah, like the Nike collabs, they're not just endorsements, you know?
Right.
They're carefully planned product lines that connect with his fans and extend his influence into fashion.
And the McDonald's thing was like tapping into this whole different cultural thing.
Exactly. It showed that he understands what's going on with consumers in general.
So it's about doing it all right.
Yeah, you got to be creative, you got to be business-minded, you got to be in tune with the culture.
Yeah, to keep that momentum going.
Exactly. The top artists today, especially in hip-hop, they're like entrepreneurs. They're running their own businesses as well as making music.
So let's talk about India,
Okay.
the place where this huge concert is happening.
Yeah.
It's clear that India is becoming a really important place for big international artists.
Yeah, we've seen Ed Sheeran, Coldplay, Jackson Wang.
It's a real change.
It really is. And this growing interest from global artists shows that India is becoming a bigger and bigger part of the international music market.
Yeah.
I mean, the population is huge, and there's this increasing appetite for all kinds of music.
It makes sense.
It makes it a really attractive place for artists to perform.
And it's not just international stars coming in.
Right.
India has its own amazing hip-hop scene.
Oh, yeah, a really vibrant scene.
Artists like Divine, Neezy, MOA, Bantai, Raftar.
They've built these massive, dedicated fan bases.
It's really cool to see how Indian hip-hop has developed.
It's this fascinating cultural phenomenon.
Yeah.
They're taking the core elements of hip-hop and mixing them with their own cultural stories, languages, and experiences.
So it's global, but also distinctly Indian.
Exactly. And you can't forget about Bollywood.
Oh, yeah. India's huge film industry.
They've really embraced hip-hop, putting it in soundtracks and bringing it more into the mainstream.
It's introduced the sound to a whole new audience.
Exactly. People who might never have heard it otherwise.
And it's not just the big names.
Right.
YouTube and all the streaming services have really changed the game.
They've totally leveled the playing field.
Yeah. Independent Indian rappers can share their music and connect with fans directly.
They don't need to go through the traditional channels anymore.
It's created this whole ecosystem for independent hip-hop.
It's a really dynamic and diverse scene.
So with all that happening, the local scene growing and more international acts coming in,
Yeah.
what kind of impact do you think a Travis Scott concert could have?
I think it could be huge.
More than just one big night.
Oh, yeah. Definitely a concert by an artist as big as Travis Scott could show other international hip-hop acts that India is a place where they can be successful.
Yeah.
It could lead to more collaborations, more tours, more sharing of musical ideas.
Yeah.
And maybe even more importantly, it could inspire the Indian hip-hop scene, encourage artists to aim higher to try and get international recognition.
Really cement India's place in global hip-hop.
Exactly.
So it sounds like hip-hop in India is only going to get bigger.
It really does. With more and more international attention and the local talent continuing to grow and evolve, it feels like it's just the beginning.
For sure.
This combination of a strong local hip-hop movement and the arrival of these global superstars creates something really powerful.
It's an exciting time.
It is. It's a great time to be a fan or an artist involved in the hip-hop scene in India.
So for anyone listening, whether you're an aspiring artist in India, seeing all this happen, or just someone who loves music and cultural exchange,
Yeah,
Travis Scott's concert in Delhi feels like a really important moment.
it does.
It shows how influential hip-hop is globally and the huge potential in India.
it really raises this interesting question for you to think about.
What's that?
What are the long-term effects of a global phenomenon like Travis Scott performing in India?
Yeah.
Like beyond the excitement of the event itself, what lasting impact could this have on how musical ideas are shared and the goals of local artists who want to achieve international success?
That's definitely something to consider.
It is as we get closer to the event.
Absolutely.
Yeah.